Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to another Ready List video. FOMC day was today. Breath got hit pretty good today after some deterioration over the last few days. Something super interesting that I saw was your NASDAQ stocks above there. 20-day was down 40% today. So something I just look at for like 5 seconds every single day. And if I throw up my breath charts here real quick, right? Yeah, 300 stocks down, 4% plus compared to your 130. Still in the triple digits, which is nice, at least today. And even on Pradeep's, right? 300 down, 4% plus today with, same thing, still in the triple digits here. So super interesting. Want to continue to keep an eye on that. You've had some deterioration in breath over the last few days, so something to keep an eye on for sure. But yeah, initially a bad reaction to the beginning of FOMC today. On your markets, a lot of stocks kind of broke down, but a lot of stuff held up still. There's still names that were green today that were holding up well. So super interesting. Want to keep an eye on relative strength. Keep tracking it. Some decent setups out there. Definitely want to keep an eye on. But it's been harder to get new buys to stick. So that's definitely the most important thing to me. You got your NQ. Speaking of the NASDAQ, right, moving in the after hours. Nice little move. Not a bad close. For it, you look at something like the QQQ, right? Comes right into the gap at the end of the day. And if you look at 24-hour, right, it's bouncing in the after hours. So super interesting. Nice to see. This is what we wanted to see, right? We needed some pullback after that super big gap up. So, I'm not hating on it. I'm just paying attention to the tightest charts, the charts that look the best. So those are definitely going to be that's what I'm keeping my eye on. But I don't really care about stuff that's extended. Even if it goes higher, it can continue to go higher. Yes, the dollar had a massive day today. It's got a super big base, something to continue to keep an eye on for sure. But personally, my main focus, and I think the moral of the story of my scanning, is focusing on the leaders, focusing on the number of setups and just the overall quality of the setups that are showing up, and kind of my past performance as far as from my trades, right? For example, my last 3 to 5 trades, how are those working? Um, you know, am I taking a bigger amount of losses than I am my winners? Like, how do my last trades look? And for me personally, like, I've been trying to trade Snow and CrowdStrike and things like that, and not really been working too well. Am I actually taking high quality setups? It's also important. So just to continue to focus on the leaders, the top names. How are the leaders acting? I will go over. I bought GH today, which is also on my ready list. Nice hold of the 20. And a nice reversal candle that could be a higher low going into tomorrow even too. So I feel good about this one. Had some nice cushion on this. Chart looks great. Nice little mini flat base. Can we push over today's high? I think that would be nice for a higher low setup. So I think it looks good. I also shorted EXK today. You got gold up in the after hours, so we'll be interested to see what happens. But I talked about this one and CDE yesterday into the 200-day as shorts. They worked really well today from the initial FOMC move. Can they hold? We will have to see, right? Gold and silver, don't think they look too good, especially gold, not hot at all. So, yes, it's bouncing in the after hours, but we'll see what it does by the open tomorrow. We'll be super interested. But, yeah, quick look and some observations. SMH, right? You get an inside day today. Probably best case scenario as far as it just not quickly breaking down, right? This is not bad. Not my favorite inside day, right? It's kind of got a shade bottom from yesterday even too. So can we break down, or, we're up in the after hours. So, how are we going to open tomorrow will be super interesting for sure. But not a bad day today. QQQ, right? Same thing. Not the best close, but you're right at the gap and you're bouncing in the after hours. And I thought I'd bring up the Mag 7. Nasty close. Another one where you're up in the after hours. Most importantly, I'll go over some quick leaders. I'll try to make this super quick. NBIS, nice push right above the pivot. New all-time closing high, I think. Yep. And just overall, sorry. Overall, super strong. One of the top leaders. ARM, another one where, I mean, if you go back to NBIS, it's like you shouldn't be buying it here. No way. This is not a breakout to buy. There's no tightness. It's loose. It's wide. So just maybe let it consolidate. But it's a leader. It's showing relative strength. Continue to keep an eye on it. It's super important. But it's back at the top of its range. ARM, same thing, right? Like, you shouldn't be buying it here. If you really want it, maybe a setup was off the 20-day most recently. But besides that, right, these things are back at the top of their ranges, so it's harder to buy them. WDC, same thing, right? You gap up 3 or 4 days in a row, you kind of get 2 reversal days. This is on my list, possibly for a short. If it stays weak, who knows? And if the market really turns, I mean, this name's extended, but I think SNDK still looks fine, even though it was red today, it was red yesterday, but it's just doing what it should do, and it got extended, and it's just pulling back. It's acting healthy. So SanDisk, I will talk about this right into the bottom of into the top of this prior high, right? Kind of flipping resistance, hopefully into support, which will line up with your 10-day moving average. So just to pull back into the 10-day, that's the area I'd watch for a bounce. Things up in the after hours, it seems like. So who knows? Maybe we get a gap tomorrow and just continue higher on a lot of stuff and doesn't quite offer a nice setup. But any pullback on SanDisk, I'll look to add to the position. So, I think it's going to really give that blow off, but WDC almost looks like it's starting to give that blow off. The same thing with STX, right? You shouldn't be buying these things up here, and even if SanDisk goes up tomorrow, I'm probably not going to be buying it. But if it can continue to pull back, get a nice morning washout, it'll definitely be something I'm interested in. We'll have to see. Dell, another leader sitting under the earnings high, super nice relative strength day today. I think it looks great. You could even throw this on the list. This should be on the list even at this point, right? It looks awesome. A-Lab, another leader. Nice inside day today. Another one where not really a setup I want to buy, but nice 4 days tight and inside day today. Super interesting. Continue to keep an eye on the leaders. MU, another one, right? Had a nasty day yesterday. Not the worst day today, right? You held the 5-day. You haven't even lost the 5-day. You're sitting under the pivot. Can we push out of that? Would be super interesting. Or can we just continue to go sideways and offer a setup? AMD, get an inside day. Can we continue to go sideways? But it is a nice inside day. Wouldn't be surprised if these push. SDK I talked about. CRDO, last one. Oops, if I can type. CRDO, kind of looks like a flag, right? You got 3 or 4 days red, but kind of falling right into your 10-day after a nice move up. Just looks like a little bull flag to me. So super interesting. And then SpaceX, right? You get a bearish engulfing. You made your first pivot ever, or second pivot. I guess this would be your first. Nasty reversal candle yesterday, and then move down from that today. So interesting. I'm gonna go over my ready list now. Sorry, recovering from being sick, so I got a really bad cough. BE, I've talked about this name like every single day. It just continues to look so good. But super nice inside day. It's back above the 20-day. Relative strength every single day. You got a nice base. You look at a weekly chart. Weekly chart looks fine. Above today's high would be super interesting. Definitely was a name to be buying as an undercut and rally. So continue to keep an eye on this name. I think it just continues to act great and looks fine, right? The chart looks great. It's got a nice base. CrowdStrike, super nice name, right? You put in a nice pullback. You gave a higher low, and now, we just put an inside day, making yesterday, actually, for the first time, a pivot. So you got another higher low here. Can we push above today's highs? Probably up in the after hours, maybe not, who knows, but just a move above today's high. Super interesting. I love this chart. I think it looks great. This is one of my favorite charts I got on here, so it looks awesome. DOCN, and if I throw up CrowdStrike here, I also got Palo Alto as another cybersecurity. Looks great. It's also on my list. 3 or 4 days tight. Looks awesome. Can it push out? DDOG. This one, not as good, right? This is another one of your cybersecurity with an inside day today. Looks like a nice little bear flag. Is it going to break down, or, maybe this thing, I don't know. It's just not my favorite look. So some of them in the group are not acting the best. Okta, same thing. Nice little pull day today. It wasn't down a whole lot. Doesn't do anything too wrong, but it isn't doing anything where I'm like super obsessed with it. All it did was make a big move, big gap up, and it's just kind of pulling back forever. So we'll see what these ones can do. CrowdStrike, I already talked about. AKAM is another one where not acting good. This one's acting really poor. RBRK, some of the laggards of the group, not as bad. But yeah, CrowdStrike I think looks good. It just got to get going. If the rest of the group can bounce and this thing's pushing above today's highs, that would be super interesting. So I like the chart. DOCN, software, right, which I'll go over the software group. DDOG is also in that software group. Snow, which is also on my list here. Snow looks fine, right? You got a nice range building. Can we push above we just need to push out of this. When we can push out of this, it's going to go. If not, it's going to break down. It's going to break somewhere. It's getting tight. That's the only thing I really like about these is you made a big move up, you pulled back a little bit, and you're getting tight. Can we push through this range? You are building a nice range. So above today's highs would be super interesting for me on something like a Snow. And I mean, you even look at a Twilio, which is not acting very good, but it's coming into support. But another one where it's like, not my favorite look. ServiceNow, one of the top ones, horrible, absolutely disgusting look. Net, rejecting the 20, not my favorite. But Frog, another tech name, that their software name, super nice relative strength today. This is on the list. And inside day tomorrow would be super interesting to me. It's building some sort of a pullback flag, so it looks nice. But continue building out. Inside day tomorrow would be super interesting for some sort of a little higher low setup. DOCN though, a push above this pivot would be super nice to see it get going. This name has kind of been acting pretty trash. You get a big move up, it just goes sideways for a long time. It starts to go, pulls back, continues sideways. It needs to just trend, so it just needs to push out of this June 4th high. Would be super interesting. Frog talked about. FTNT, this is another one of your which I'm pretty sure cybersecurity. Nice candle today. This could be your higher low pushing out of the pivot. So above today's highs would be, or the prior day high, whatever you want to call it, going into tomorrow. Would look super interesting. Kind of the same thing I'm looking at for a GH, right? Just to push above that as your higher low. But, this one's 7 ATRs for its 50. It's not something I'll be trading. I'd rather be trading other stuff in the group. But this is definitely one of your top leaders that is extended, but looks like it can still go higher. So wouldn't be buying it, but definitely interesting to keep an eye on. HUT, right? I really want to pay attention to this data center WGMI group. But not the best day today for this HUT, but it's still not broken in my opinion. It just wants to go sideways. It looks like continue digesting wouldn't be bad. You got Cypher in this group, which their action across these names is not very good, right? As far as like tight, they're wide and loose. They've got top wicks everywhere. Just let them continue digesting, but it's definitely a group I want to continue keeping an eye on. All these names that I bring up, CORZ, HUT, I talked about. Riot is not an all-time high, but it's a 52-week high. Nice flat base. It's working on APLD, whatever. NBIS I talked about, one of your main leaders of the market, and even CoreWeave is a data center name. Super interested on a pullback in this name, but overall not a horrible day today. HUT though, one of the leaders. Can it build a higher low somewhere in this area, or like right here, can it get super tight? Super interesting. Intel, you pulled up into the top of the left side peak. You kind of pulled back into the 20 almost, and a nice inside day today over today's highs would be super interesting if it can get going. Semiconductor name, right? I talked about SMH, right? So who knows? Maybe it can get going over the prior day high. This could be a higher low. Super interesting. I like the weekly chart. Even doesn't look bad. Another one of your leaders that's just been building a base. So continue to keep an eye on this one. Like I said, it was buyable down at the bottom of the range. So maybe this is an add opportunity, or just to push above today's highs would be super interesting. Marvell, your same look. Obviously, this is another semiconductor, but you make a massive move up and you get your high tight flag. This looks really good above the prior day high. Would be super interesting to me, or just continue basing. And same thing with Intel, like this can continue basing, and I think it would still look phenomenal. So even if it doesn't push out, just continue to digest, build this little flag. You can look at this in so many different ways, but super nice inside day above today's highs would be super interesting. NVT, this is like your sympathy to BE. NVT looks so good. I mean, you got a nice flat base. This is on the top of the list for sure. A push above today's highs would be so interesting, and a breakout of this flat base realistically over this 174.50, your original pivot. You flip to a weekly, looks great. You've been building a really nice flat base here for a few weeks now, or a month, a little over a month. So it looks great. Palo Alto I talked about. Rocket Lab, right? If I focus on any of these aerospace defense rocket names, it is 100% Rocket Lab. It's not ASTS, right? It's not RDW. It's not PL. As far as space, and it's really not SpaceX until it can get a little bit older and build an actual setup. But Rocket Lab, it's trying to build a higher low off 50. It tried to hold the 50 day. It did show some nice relative strength. So a push through Tuesday's highs / even today's highs. I just want to keep an eye on this and continuing to build out here. Maybe an inside day tomorrow will be super interesting. Who knows? Just want to see it get going off the 50 day here. So push out of this area would be super interesting, right? It's kind of built a 3-day mini range, so just get out of here would be super interesting. It is what it is. NCTK, just continue to watch for a pullback. Snow, I talked about. UMAC, right? This is in a vacuum. Is it building some sort of little bear flag after a move down, which looks like it's possible, or is it building higher lows on the 20 after a big move up and digesting and going to push out of it? Super interesting. Above today's highs is the only thing that would get me interested in this, unless you get an inside day tomorrow, maybe a washout in the morning or something after a gap up, and then a push back through VWAP, and it kind of stays green all day and it holds a nice day. I'll try to get positioned earlier around 25 bucks, see if I can sit in it with at least close to $1 cushion, and then maybe the next day it pushes out. Who knows? But I think the chart still looks fine. The weekly looks great, right? You flip to a monthly, you're just sitting at the prior all-time high. And you're building a range, so it's getting tight, but it isn't a vacuum, right? The rest of your drone names have been acting horrible, right? ONDS, absolutely disgusting. Bear flag, whatever. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they don't look very good. So this could be in a vacuum here, pretty much is, but it's the leading name out of all of them. So to see it break down would not be the best, right? It did technically almost lose the 20 day today, but just want to see it push above today's highs, which is super interesting. WDC I talked about, and Dell I talked about. That's probably going to be it for me. I've already let this video go on too long. I appreciate you guys all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.